Hello, everybody. This is Dr. Rick Wallace, dropping in on you this morning. I hope that um, you've gotten your day off to a good start, your week off to a good start. Uh, the month of January, the year of 2018, has gotten off to a very exciting start for me, my business, my family. So, Team Wallace is, really in a good place right now. I had some pretty lofty goals, which is just simply how I operate, but I have some pretty lofty goals coming into this year that were extension of um, last year's goals, and it has gotten off to an unbelievable start to this point. If you're in the Midwest, Texas, and all of that, definitely Dallas and Houston. Hopefully, you are uh, somewhere safe because the weather is kind of nasty down here. It's a little icy out there if you're in Houston. I understand it's snowing in certain areas. So be careful out there. But I want to talk to you today about using your purpose to fuel your passion. But before doing so, I wanted to also introduce you to the Critical Mass Sweepstakes. For those of you who haven't been following me or who don't know what I do, I help people. I guess the quickest way to describe what I do is I'm a neuroassociative conditioning specialist. The simple explanation for that is I help people get out of their own way. I help them learn how to change their behaviors by changing their thought patterns, by changing their belief systems, by shifting paradigms on down the line, but also help them develop the neurological capacity to entertain new thoughts, new beliefs, and all of that. And it's a lot of different disciplines learned over a long time that has put me in this fortunate position to be able to help people. Critical Mass is book number 20, but it's also a concept that I'm using for an entire product line and a new engagement of how I'm going to engage people. What I've been looking for over the last, 4 or 5 years is a way to expand my reach, be able to help more people. And one of the things I don't like doing is trading my time for money in a sense where I'm giving up so much of my time that I'm killing the quality of my life. The quality of my life is as important or more important than the capacity to make money. I'm just at that point in my life right now where I'll pass up on something if it's going to rob the quality of my life. Oh, don't interpret that as meaning I don't grind. I'm up every morning between 4 and 5 o'clock in the morning. Every morning, and I'm pushing to late in the evening, still working and getting things done 7 days a week most of the time. But what I'm doing is operating in a number of different capacities simultaneously. With critical mass, which is an extension of the Visionetics Institute and the work we do in self-development, personal growth, self-empowerment, success, wealth building, financial literacy, all of those different programs. Critical mass is the ultimate expression of self-empowerment. In physics, critical mass is the point in which all of the components that are necessary to create a nuclear reaction are present. So it is the presence of everything necessary. So in life, critical mass is the presence of everything you need: the right mindset, the right focus, the right perception, the right paradigms, the right state, all of these things, because it's the internal mechanisms that are going to determine your success, not the external events that happen in your life. The events you don't necessarily have control over, but your state, your mindset, how you approach life, the way you deal with difficulties, the way you deal with problems, all of that matters. And so book number 20 is Critical Mass. It is now, we now have a concrete release date, which is February 16th, which is a Friday. We're going to release in celebration of finally nailing this down. It's been a lot of work. It's a lot going into this book because what I'm trying to do here is give you everything, a comprehensive, detailed outline of what it takes to bring your life into order so that you can at least get it in front of you and know it's possible. And the wonderful thing about it is it's real life uh, examples. It's scientifically held in check. It's not, wishful thinking books I've read. This is a life I've experienced. These are experiences that I've used to teach and train others. It's experiences that have been used to teach and train me. It is observational in studying the most successful people in the world and finding the patterns that create these successful people. And the patterns are governed by the 7 universal laws. So when you practice these patterns, they produce over and over again. These patterns are not exclusive. These patterns are not held in check for the wealthy elite. These patterns work for anybody who's willing to make the sacrifices. So I bring all of this to the table in this. And in celebration that we're doing the Critical Mass Sweepstakes. And for anyone who pre-orders the book between now and its release date on February 16th, you will automatically be entered into the sweepstakes. The first place prize is the Critical Mass Business and Personal Development course, which is a 365-day course. It's a $25,000 value. It is the flagship program for the Visionetics Institute, and it is somewhat of the future of how I'm looking to do things as far as working with individuals. It will be a course where there will be multiple people entered, but each person will have an individual encounter on a regular basis with me as we move forward, but they will also be working together to create synergy and energy support and create an environment. Because the one thing that I'm a firm believer of is that you are the average of the 10 people you spend the most time around. If you're talking about excelling and raising your level of living, but the people you're around are content with being where they're at, content with being average, content with mediocre performances, content with being in the pond of popularity where everybody's hanging out at, then it's going to be real difficult for you to expand yourself and spread your wings and raise your level of performance, because everything around you is pulling on you and tugging on you. And the behaviors and the practices and the thought processes are different. And the energy that's being emitted is different. And it's just so many things that will hold you and cause problems. I'm not saying that it can't be done, but that's not a road you want to travel. You want to shift and start surrounding yourself with me. There are a certain number of people who have excelled and done things beyond what I've done in finance, in business, in this area. There are people that I'm in contact with who have done more in this area than I have. My goal is to make my impact on this industry in a way that it has never been done before. That's my goal, is to be able to impact people and provide them with the capacity to do exceptional and extraordinary things in their lives, and do it on the most unbelievable scale and in the most unbelievable way possible. That's my goal. Call it grandiose, call it whatever. I just don't believe in sitting around and just fitting in and just coasting through. I don't believe in playing humble with false humility in order to make other people comfortable. I believe in challenging people to raise the standard that they have set for themselves. I believe in pushing people to be what they are designed to be, not fitting into a box that they've been given. And so my behavior and the way I carry myself and the way I do things is probably different than the average person, but I don't hang around average people. And so that's a part of it. But then the second one is the gold package for one-on-one coaching, which is valued at $6,480, let's just say $6,500. That's another 16-week course that has proven over time to be highly, I think it's got like a 99% success rate. The only 2 people in the last 3 years that have not gotten what they say they wanted actually quit. Anybody that stuck it out, number one, and here's why: anyone that stuck it out has gotten what they want. And here's why: I'm going to stick it out with you. When you sit down with it, I'm going to take responsibility. The moment you sit down with me and tell me what your outcome is, that thing you're looking for, the results you're looking for, by sitting down with me, we're going to get a clear understanding of what that is. And then we're going to sit down and get a clear understanding of where you're at. Then we're going to set a path, and we're going to go down that path. I'm going to challenge you. I'm going to push you. I'm going to give you the tools you need. I'm going to help you adjust your thinking. It's you making the changes. I'm just helping you get there quicker. I'm cutting out a lot of the intermediate activity. But anyway, it's performed well. Third place is critical mass event tickets. There are going to be 4 events annually every year, where I'm going to do a 3-day event, and we're going to do life change. We're not going to do motivational speaking. We're not going to do inspirational speaking. We're going to have segments and breakouts dealing with everything from marriage, dealing with finance, dealing with limited beliefs, dealing with paradigm shifts, dealing with the law of attraction. We're going to deal with all of those different elements in breakouts. And I personally will be giving 30 hours over that 3 days. 30 hours of intense engagement. We're going to be dealing with some problems. We're going to have people literally in the audience standing up talking about what they're going through right now. We're going to deal with it then. We're going to literally see a shift and a change then. We're going to see energy do massively crazy, off the wall things when you engage things with the right mindset. We're going to see shifts happen, and we're going to make commitments that day of what we're going to do. We're going to commit ourselves to doing something that after this event is over with, you're going to continue doing something that's going to help you change your life. I am excited about it. That's another part of the shift in the way we're doing things at the Visionetics Institute. And finally, the 4th place prize is the Power of Paradigms course, currently valued at basically $500. And the Power of Paradigms course is a way to get access to the basic principles that allow you to shift the paradigms that are working against you. And a paradigm is simply the lens through which you view life, how you see the world around you, how you think the world is impacting you, how you feel you have a capacity to impact the world or you don't. All of those lenses determine how you behave. It determines your decision making. It determines your behavior. It sets your habits. All of these things that are going to determine whether you're successful or not is based on the paradigms you hold and how well you can adjust and shift. If you're operating optimally and you're doing what you're supposed to be on a regular basis, you're consistently shifting paradigms as you gain more understanding of the world around you, gain more knowledge of the world, you gain more wisdom and capacity for practical application. Your paradigms are constantly shifting and evolving, but when you are stuck in a paradigm that you were given years ago that says I can't, you got to deal with that, and that normally takes a massive shift. You got one that says because I come from, that's a massive shift. When you got one that says this, I can't do this because, whatever it is, those require massive shifts. But once you create that massive shift, then you move progressively. So I just wanted to bring that to you. Look, and it's going to be going on, like I say, until the book actually releases on February 16th. Again, those are the 4th place. The one will be announced on the date of the release of the book. And like I said, I'm excited about book number 20, the most comprehensive thus far. Definitely not the last, but definitely I'm excited about it. Now, let's talk about real briefly the purpose, allowing purpose to fuel your passion. I've been asked multitudinous times, why is it that if I believe that every person on this planet has infinite potential, that their potential is unlimited, why is it that very few people succeed? And my response is very simple. We live in a world where most people are suffering from some form of an identity crisis. Their self-image is out of alignment with their design. Your self-image, your self-concept is how you see yourself and how you also believe the world sees you. And it sets your expectations of yourself. It determines the level of self-worth you have for yourself, the level of self-confidence, the level of self-esteem, how you hold yourself in regards to other people around you. And that's going to determine your behavior. That's going to determine how you engage life. That's going to determine the expectations you have of yourself. And if you listen to me for any time, one thing you've heard me say over and over again is that God will only meet you at the level of your expectations. If you are a universal person or person, then the universe, life, however you want to call it, will only meet you at the level of your expectations. You can never get consistently beyond what you expect. What you expect sets your state. What you expect sets your energy. What you expect actually governs your behavior. Once you have an expectation of yourself, your subconscious mind and your non-conscious brain will actually work together to create behavioral patterns and habits that will cause you to behave and act in a way. You've got kids that have been told over and over again that they're just not smart. And then you turn around and look at them and they're consistently performing at substandard levels in academia. Well, you can take these kids, put them in an environment, recondition their mind to believe that they're not dumb, that they're not stupid, that they're not retarded, that they don't have learning disabilities, that they simply learn differently, and they need to learn how to use their learning capacity to obtain the information necessary. You start working with them, and then they outperform everyone in the classroom. They outperform everyone in the school. They become exceptional and remarkable. Now people are referring to them as geniuses. They are the same person. Nothing changed. They didn't get some new talent. What happened was they changed the belief they had about themselves. When they changed the belief they had about themselves, they changed the energy. They changed the expectation. They changed how their subconscious mind and their non-conscious brain were interacting and working to produce the reality of that expectation. You get what you expect. You get what you expect because your thoughts are going to be reflective of that expectation, and those thoughts bear out as seeds that are planted and come to harvest. Your thoughts are the seeds of your destiny. When you set out and tell your mind, I can, and you convince yourself that you can, then you will automatically, without even knowing it, start to move toward it. That's called action. Your beliefs determine your actions. If you're not taking massive action to achieve the success you want, it's because you have not yet convinced yourself that it's possible. No one invests massive action into something they don't believe they can do. Some of us are not going to even try it. Others will go out there and dibble dabble in it so that when someone asks, you can say, I tried. As long as I can say I tried, I gave it my best, which is not true. But as long as I say I tried and I gave it my best, I can rest in the easy conscience in this mediocrity that I'm walking and I'm living in. I just need to tell people I tried. How many times have people come to me and say, I've tried everything? Really? Everything? Give me 20. Well, I tried a lot. Give me 10. Okay, I tried it once, but what happened was, as I thought, let me tell you something. When you truly develop a mindset that I'm going to do something, I believe in myself, there's absolutely nothing I can't do, I'm going to go out and make it happen. When you truly develop that capacity, something inside of you won't let you rest. Something inside of you won't let you quit. Something inside of you stands up and says, no matter what I face, I'm built for this. And you go out and you consistently go against it. When you get knocked down, you get up, dust yourself off, because why? Getting knocked down does not mean you've lost. Having delay does not mean denial. Not having it happen in the time frame that you initially set does not mean it's over with. You keep getting up, you keep going back, you keep pushing and keep pushing and keep pushing, and you look up one day and you've accomplished it. And the thing is, the harder you had to fight for it, the more you get back. But it all begins with self-image, a sense of identity. The problem is we're all suffering. So many of us are suffering from identity crisis. We've been told that we're slow. We've been told that we're not business oriented. We've been told that we're not good with money. We've been told that poverty is our lot in life. We've been told that we are not good in relationships. We've been told we're no good at parenting. We've been told that we're going to struggle all our lives. We've been told over and over again all these things, all these negative labels that we've been given by predominant label givers early in life. Sometimes it was your parent. You're going to be like your dad. You ain't going to never be no good. You're going to be just like your dad. If dad wasn't around and dad wasn't present and dad didn't do anything, mom's upset and frustrated because of what she's facing and she doesn't know how to deal with it and overcome it. So she projects on you and she tells you you're not going to be anything. Or you're just not good in school. Don't worry about it. You'll get out and you'll do okay. Or you're just not that smart. Or all of these different things. Or you got to school and somebody told you you weren't beautiful. All of these different things by different types of label givers. You got your primary label givers, which are your parents, your secondary label givers, which are your first, second, third grade teachers. And then you've got your constituents or your peers, which are also label givers, because they're going to take shots at you. They're going to tell you things. And if you don't have parents at home that are instilling infinite possibilities inside of you and telling you can do anything you want, you're going to buy into the peer. Peer pressure has power because those are the closest thing. That's what you see. And if they don't accept you and if they tell you you don't fit in, then you automatically fall back to the next tier. You've got to learn how to identify who you are, not based on what someone else says about you. Stop allowing yourself to be defined by someone else's opinion of you. I have people have opinions of me all the time. People that don't know I know their opinions about me. It's amazing how people actually believe you go tell people stuff these days and they don't go tell somebody else. But the thing is, I have never rested my self-worth, my self-value, my capacity to perform and do what I know I can do based on someone else's opinion of me. I will never be locked inside of a box of what someone else thinks about me. That's not how I operate. I sit up, I evaluate me. And a long time ago, I evaluated me and I determined that absolutely nothing that I want to do will be withheld from me. Now, I might have to fight for it. I might have to scratch for it. I might have to show some patience while investing due diligence and hard work, effort, and grind. But what I know is I have yet, and I just hit another one this week. Like I said, this month for my business has started out awesomely, and for my family. And so I'm excited about that. But it didn't come overnight. It came with a lot of delay. It came with a lot of hard work. It came with some setbacks. But the thing is, because of how I look at myself and the demand I have on myself, the standard of performance I have on myself, the unwillingness to quit and turn back and relent, I push through. Now, there's no exceptional or exclusive gift that I have. I have the unrelenting desire to succeed. I have a willingness to invest the time, energy, and effort to grow. See, it's not what you want that you get, it is who you are. You can't have this over here. You can't be a billionaire with a poverty mindset, with a consumer mindset, with an unwillingness to understand how to move and operate around money, without understanding the importance of compounding growth, without understanding the importance of leverage, without understanding so many different things that lead to building wealth. You can sit up and want it all day long, but until you develop the capacity, first shifting the mindset to think that way, then developing an understanding of the patterns that it takes to reach there. Let me tell you, this entire universe is built off of energy, rhythm, and patterns. When you understand that you cannot eat, when you understand that the energy you emit has power, first and foremost, energy attracts like energy. It's called resonation. Energy resonates with like energy, drawing it to it, merging with it, creating synergy. That syncing of energy is where you get synergy. And so you have that. So when you're working around a situation where you've got energy, you got to understand that energy attracts like energy. What does that mean? If I'm focusing on a low frequency, a low vibration, I'm emitting low energy, that's going to attract low energy and low results and low situations, low events. You cannot be on a negative frequency. Anger, bitterness, hatred, jealousy, worry, anxiety. All of those function on a very low frequency. And when you're on a low frequency, here's the problem. Everything sits on top of you. Everything rests on top of you. You got all this stuff going on top of you, and you have no way of getting to anything you want, but it's all resting on you. You've got to change your frequency. How do you change your frequency? First of all, change your expectations. You can never expect to be feeling upbeat and have a positive energy or emitting an energy of confidence when you have low expectations. Your low expectations lock you into low energy emission. And when you have low energy emission, you create nothing but a negative environment around you that attracts negativity. Second of all, everything is rhythmic. Everything is rhythmic in this universe. And if you notice, you got different people, and I'm gonna get that. But the rhythm of the being able to move with the rhythm and understand the rhythm, that means that nothing is sitting still, nothing is sitting stable, nothing is stagnant, nothing moving. There's a rhythm to life. And when you understand and how to move to the rhythm of life, when you understand that there's nothing that's going to be always up, there's nothing that's going to be always down, that you learn how to move with the rhythm and you know how to adjust the rhythm, you know how to change the pace, you know how to move with it, attract it, get with it, then you got that. Then when you discover patterns, patterns are the things that people do over and over again. I grew up in a home where I was reared by my great grandmother. And so I saw a lot of stuff that most people my age haven't seen. My grandmother made all of her dresses. That was her way of sacrificing and not spending money on herself so she could spend it on me. And I never would forget that. But she also taught me how to sit down and use patterns and to sew. So, I mean, things that most people and most guys will sit up and say, I don't want to do that. But she took me down in this old, heavy Singer sewing machine. And she taught me how to take these patterns and cut these patterns. And the thing is, when you get the pattern, and she would wear the dress and somebody said, oh my God, that's an awesome dress. And she said, I made it myself. She said, can you make me one? She said, yeah, can you make it just like that? Yes. How could she know she can go back and make the exact same dress over and over again? The pattern. It's just like if you sit down, remember when we were in school and we took the little thin piece of paper and put it over the picture we wanted to draw, but we couldn't draw, but we could take it and put it over and we would trace the pattern of the picture through, and we would basically reproduce the picture on the paper. That's pattern. So when you find someone who has a pattern to success in money, pattern to success in marriage, pattern to success in parenting, pattern to success in business development, pattern to success in marketing, there are some people out there that just simply have the pattern. And when you look at the pattern, you sit up and say, okay, this pattern has worked over and over again. It is in lock. You take the pattern, you put the pattern to work, you apply it. Now you have an expectation because you have a belief about yourself and a high expectation. So you have a high energy admittance. You're functioning and you're moving with rhythm. You now have a pattern, and now you just have to go the distance. But you have to have an identity. And what I tell people all the time, when you get past the identity crisis is when it gets interesting. When you start to examine yourself, and you start to look at all the gifts you really truly have, intellectually, emotionally, spiritually, psychologically, and even physically, you start to examine all of these different gifts and talents you have that can be refined, grown, expanded. And you understand that with your brain and your mind, you literally have unlimited potential to expand. And with your brain and your mind, you have unlimited potential to create. You start to go, wow. So you start to get and say, okay, so I'm good at this. I have a natural tendency to do this. I feel good when I do this. You're starting to determine what you are naturally have a bent for. Now you have to understand, how do I use this to serve the world? How do I use this to give back? How do I use this to bless people? How do I use this to empower people? You're now determining your value. And you can go on and on, and I go on it. But what happens is when you get your identity, I tell people all the time, once you become aware of your identity, you become acquainted with your purpose. And once you discover your purpose will fuel your passion. And it will be your passion that drives you to your destiny. See, a lot of people are trying to use emotion like anger and even happiness and whatever to get them through. See, emotions have no endurance. They weren't meant to be enduring. You're not meant to be angry all the time. You're not meant to sit up and have fear moving all the time. And happiness is not, to me, emotion in a sense. It's a state. So I don't look at it, but these emotions like, I'm gonna do this because I'm mad. It'll get you started. Getting mad will definitely get you started. But I look at emotions like anger and sadness and all of those things as indicative mechanisms. They tell you what's going on right now. If you're upset, it means somebody's done something to you or something's not going the way you want it to go. If you're sad, you've probably experienced some form of loss. If you are worried, there's something you feel that's out of your control because you don't worry about things you have the capacity to change. So you have all these things going on and you're doing that. Those indicative mechanisms have done their job. The moment they tell you somebody's wronged you, that's why I'm angry, somebody's wrong. Now you must use your rational and reasonable capacity to determine what you're going to do about it. Don't make decisions from your emotions. That's something that a lot of us tend to do. We get upset about something. We immediately make a decision based on emotions. Then we find ourselves in situations that are going and spiraling out of control because we made a decision from our emotional seat instead of sitting back and taking our experience, our knowledge, our reason, our ration, and coming up with a logical strategy to take steps to rectify the situation. If it's something I don't like, the one thing I understand as a human being, as a creation of God, the one thing I understand is I have the capacity to change it. I'm the one being on this planet, that being as in collective being, all of us, that has the capacity to look at my situation, and if I don't like it, do something about it. I have that, and I will always have that as long as I'm aware and I'm awake. As long as I have consciousness of mind and I can look at the world around me, I have the capacity to change what I don't like. Now, the thing is, most of us have gotten locked in and identified with the thing we don't like. Most of us have, listen to me very carefully, most of us have identified with the thing we don't like. Most of us that say we tired of being poor have identified with being poor. And so we have a poor vocabulary. We have a poor vernacular, poor vocabulary. We have a poor mindset. We have a poor expectancy. We have a poor conversation. Everything is about poverty. It's always about what I don't have. As long as you're talking about what you don't have, that's what you're going to have. You stop talking about what you don't have. First of all, be grateful for what you do have. Gratitude is a massive importance when developing the capacity to advance yourself. First of all, learn how to be grateful for what you do have. The moment you start challenging yourself to be grateful for what you do have, you'll start noticing you have more than you thought you had, first and foremost. Second of all, it puts you in a state of mind to understand that something else is possible, that I'm not inextricably connected or bound to my current situation. That's the problem. You have made yourself bound to poverty by consistently engaging it, talking about it, repeating the same vernacular that everybody else like you is doing and getting the same results. You achieve wealth long before you get $1 in your bank account. You achieve wealth when you understand the massive capacity of your mind to create your reality. At that particular point, you have just become the owner of whatever you desire to own, if you're willing to put in the work to be there. That's the difference. Am I going to be a business owner? What do I need to do? Well, you need to understand the basics of business development. You need to understand how to write a business plan. You need to understand how to do a marketing analysis. You need to understand how to develop your model concept of how your business is going to operate, your financial concept of how your business is going to operate. You need to understand how to work with other people. You need to understand how to leverage and use other people to come in to help make things happen, how to build a team, how to function with a team, how to work with a team in a capacity where everybody remains happy and fulfilled. All of these different things are part of building a company. There's a psychology to it. The psychology is huge. Understanding what you're up against and knowing that you're capable of overcoming it. But then you get it. And once you get it, now you're ready to start a business. How do you fund the business? You know, all of these things are going to be a part of what it is you need to understand. But how are you going to fund the business? There are many ways to fund the business. And you will learn all of these things as you start to expand yourself and demand more of yourself as you become what it takes to be a business owner. It doesn't start out with saying either you are a business owner or you're not a business owner. It starts out with saying that, look, I'm not happy with where I'm at. This is what I want out of life. And then determining without pause that I'm going to go out and get it. And, you know, sometimes people ask me, well, sometimes it can be overwhelming. Do you ever get afraid? I don't want to allow myself to feel fear because I understand how fear operates. Fear is this unreal thing that's there. And it comes from a number of different places. It comes from uncertainty. It comes from worrying about what other people say. It comes from the possibility of failure, but it's an idea. It's an idea that's born and it's very small when it first starts. But the more you allow it to sit there and the more you think about all the things that can go wrong, the bigger it gets. And what I've learned is when I get started, the moment I start to get that fear, I jump out there. You know, I don't sit there and go, man, if I do this, and this. If I decide that it's something I want and I look at it and I say it's worth having, then it's worth taking the risk. and I just jump out there. And it goes against what most people who are struggling to get anywhere, it goes against what you think. You've been taught to measure the risk, don't take any risk, be very careful. You're highly risk averse and you don't understand. You also been told to measure everything, make sure you got it all right. Let me explain something to you. I've said this before, but I want you to really pay attention to this. If you don't hear anything else, hear this. There is no such thing as a perfect opportunity. There's no such thing as the right time. The right time is the moment that you decide that you want something. Start going for it then. Why? The longer you sit there and wait, the more things are going to come between you and that idea. The more things are going to pop up to challenge it. The more things are going to pop up to take your time. The more things are going to pop up to distract you. Once you decide that there's something in your life worth having, that's the thing. A lot of us are messing around with things that aren't even worthy of our time and our attention. We give way too much of our daily time to things that really shouldn't even matter to us. I mean, I say this over and over again as well. 86,400 seconds in a day. That's all you get. Sounds like a lot until you sit up there and realize just how fast you're going through every day. 86,400 seconds in a day. Every last one of those seconds has meaning, has purpose, and has worthiness and wealth in it. Now, what you invest in that time is going to determine your future, your destiny, how life turns out for you. If you're sitting up and you're treating that time with a casual approach, a casual nature, you'll probably end up a casualty of life. That's the reality of it. Are you sitting up? How much time do you lose in TV? I'm not saying don't watch TV. I watch it. How much time do you lose sitting up talking and shooting the bull on the phone? How much time you lose hanging out and just doing nothing with your friends? I'm not saying that you shouldn't have fellowship time. I'm not saying that you shouldn't engage, but you should find out what each second means to you. This time that I'm spending doing this, what does it bring me? Even when I take a nap during the day, I haven't had one in a while, so I've been on 10 lately. But there are those times where I'm really drained, and if I feel myself and my mental capacity dissipating in the middle of the day, and I'm not getting out of myself what I know I'm capable of producing, then I'm doing myself a disservice by sitting up there trying to make something happen, and I'm not at my best. So I'll take a 15-minute nap, sit back and just, normally in this chair, sit back and just take a quick nap. When I wake up, I'm a little bit more sharp. Well, I'm a lot sharper, more rejuvenated. Then I'm also allowed, doing that quick nap, I've also allowed my right side of my brain, the creative side of my brain, to kick in. So now things I wasn't even thinking of at first are now coming to me. So I invested that 15 minutes, the seconds within that 15 minutes, produce something. So that nap was an investment. And everything has meaning. When I go to sleep at night, the hours I spend in that bed is rejuvenating. I'm growing. I'm healing. I'm healing my spiritual self, all of my chakras. I'm healing my mental mind. I'm healing my body. I'm giving myself a chance to grow and expand. And then I wake up ready to go to war again. I wake up ready to grind again. I wake up ready to face the challenges of the day because they're coming. But it's an investment. If you're not taking the time that you have in the day and actually investing in something that is meaningful, you're wasting valuable time in building who you could be and having what you could have. It's got to be a focus on what really truly matters. That passion that comes out of purpose. So many people are just wandering around doing what someone else told them to do. You probably need to do this. You probably will be better at this. You can't do that, do this. If you want to make it, you do this. You got some people, and it's not just people who have income jobs that you might consider low income jobs. You got some people 6- and 7-figure jobs, miserable. And I'm gonna tell you something. This is my personal opinion. Everybody has a thing, but to me, the fulfillment and peace of mind of knowing I'm functioning in my purpose and I'm living in my passion is priceless. And so, as far as I'm concerned, you can achieve all the success you want in life, in business, in finance, in social status. But if you don't have a sense of fulfillment, if you're not happy on the inside and fulfilled with what you're doing, you have failed. That should be some fulfillment, some personal fulfillment. I'm not talking about selfish fulfillment. I'm not talking about I'm just going to get everything and take everything. I'm talking about that's something you should be able to feel good about yourself. Every day you wake up, it should be something you're doing that makes you feel good about who you are and what you're doing. No, you're not perfect. No, you're not going to make all the right decisions. No, you're not going to make everybody happy. That's not your job, actually. Your job is to make the greatest impact possible in this world. Your job is to represent your design and represent your designer in a way that touches lives and changes lives. And in the process, you enrich yourself, which is absolutely acceptable when you provide something of greater value. The simplest way that it's been explained to me by the people that I have accepted as mentors over my life in different areas. It's all came from my grandfather was the first one to say, son, fill your space. Wherever you go into a situation, always leave the situation better than when you walked into it. My other mentor said, I always give them more than what they pay for. When you give someone more than what they pay for, you have a right to collect whatever you did collect. When you give them something of greater value than what they've paid you, you've earned your pay. And I don't care how wealthy you get with that. If you continue that process, it's worth it. Because if, say, for instance, you generated $1 billion by going out and just straight touching people's lives. And everybody, you know, there are going to be some people out there that say that you ought to be ashamed of yourself, what you're doing, you're getting paid. But if the people's lives you've touched have generated a greater value than the $1 billion collectively, if you look at everybody you've touched and their lives are better, and you could put a dollar amount on it, and that dollar amount would exceed $1 billion, you are well worth the $1 billion you've earned. And probably more because you haven't tapped your potential. You never have. But here's this. I'm going to say this and I'm going to get off of here. Look, you have not, because you have not yet set your mind on it. You have not yet set a state that believes you can. There's nothing that can be withheld from you that is good and that you set your mind on having if you believe you can have it. In order to do that, you're going to have to shift paradigms. You're going to have to change your thought processes. You're going to have to change your rituals, your habits, your behavior. You're going to have to find patterns that fit what it is you want. You're going to have to be willing to invest in yourself. That's one of the things that I see that there's a problem in. People want the promise, but they don't want the process. And that's a problem when you want the promise, but you want to circumvent the process. You get imitations, you get kind ofs, you get something that looks like, but it's not real, it's not authentic. You can't make it stick. It doesn't stay around. It looks good for a minute. It's shiny right now, but it ain't real. You've got to learn how to set yourself up and be prepared and tell yourself that no matter what you face today, you're built for it. Wake up every morning with a heart of gratitude. Learn how to be grateful. Stop complaining. Stop complaining about what you don't have. Stop complaining about what other people are doing. Stop complaining about all this and understand that it is you that has the capacity within your mind right now, within your brain, within the giftedness that you have been given by the grand designer of the universe, God. You have it right now inside of you to change your reality if you're willing to invest in yourself, if you're willing to make the sacrifices, if you're willing to take the risk. But you can't play safe and win. You cannot play safe and win. See, when you play safe, you haven't even engaged in the realm of faith yet, in the realm of the energy that produces unbelievable, remarkable, and crazy things in the lives of certain people. See, faith is that thing that only steps in when your reason can't find it. When you can't rationalize it, when you can't reason it, when you can't sit down and map it out mathematically, when you can't sit down and map it out rationally and reasonably, how you're going to get something done, but there's still something inside of you that just won't let it go, and you believe it's possible. And you take action. Get it? Not just say it's possible, but take action. That's when faith kicks in. If I can sit up and figure it out, that's not faith, that's reason. That means I've done it enough, I've been exposed to it enough that within reason I can see how it's done, so it comes to me easily. It's not until I get to that point to where there's no pattern of me doing it, even if I've seen someone else doing it, but I have a belief that if I can see it in my mind, if I can conceive it, I can do it, then when I step out and go after something that I cannot reasonably or rationally explain how it's going to get done, I'm operating now in faith. That's where crazy things start to happen. That's where the supernatural and extraordinary starts to happen. That's where the phenomenal starts to happen. It's when you step out of what the mediocre expectations and dare to explore the possibilities beyond your reason. Again, the details for the critical mass sweepstakes, which I think is pretty exceptional. I mean, all of those different prizes for the sweepstakes. I'm going to put the actual link for the book. I don't even think I put the link for the book in here. I put some other stuff, but I'm going to put the link for the book in here. I've been in almost everything else that we've done. I'm grabbing it now. But I'm going to put it in the comment fields, and then I'm going to go back after the video is over, and I'm going to put it in the actual description box. But like I said, for purchasing the book, you're going to automatically qualify for the sweepstakes, and a portion of the proceeds will go towards feeding the hungry and impoverished in the U.S., something that's really needed. It's a lot of things. If you follow me, there's a lot of things I have going on that I'm not going to get into now. But if you follow me, you know what I'm doing. Again, I'm excited. This has been an unbelievable year so far. It's been a lot of hard work and energy and effort put into it. And the thing about it is, I want everybody to experience some of the things I've experienced in life, or more than what I've experienced in life over the course of my life. And the thing is, there's absolutely nobody that I've ever come in contact with that wasn't capable. It's just simply believing in yourself. It's simply restructuring, remapping your neurological connectors to house beliefs that are positive instead of negative. Allow those old synaptic connections to die, that hold those old memories of bad beliefs, poor beliefs, negative expectations. Let those die, create new ones, feed those new ones, grow those new ones, expand those new ones. Your mind and your brain are muscles in different ways. The more you work them, the more stronger and more powerful they become. Your passion is a muscle. When you stop expressing your passion, when you let somebody shrink you back into a dwarfed goal or a colorless dream in order to fit in or in order to feel like it's possible, you diminish and dissipate your passion. You start to sink in from outside in on yourself. I've said it before, it's like committing spiritual suicide. It's walking away from the very reason you were designed and placed here. And let me say this one more time, and then I'm out of here. There is no perfect opportunity. There is no right time. All of the different excuses you've given yourself to why you're not walking in your purpose is just that. It's an excuse. Because it's absolutely nothing the designer did not know that you would be facing when the designer designed you. Everything you need is not in anyone else but yourself. Now, you can sit up and you can tell yourself over and over again and convince yourself, and you'll make yourself comfortable with where you're at based on what your excuse is. But at the end of the day, your excuse is your excuse. It's that simple. With that being said, I'm going to check out here. As I always say, I'm going to die on E. In simple, I'm not going to leave one book unpublished, one lecture undone, one course unwritten and carried out, one life untouched. And I'm not taking anything to the grave with me. I'm not taking any of my potential, any of my ideas, any of my concepts. I'm going to leave it all on the battlefield. I'm going to die on E. I refuse to contribute to the wealth of the cemetery. With all the wonderful ideas out there, I think it was Miles Monroe that first said that the cemetery is the wealthiest place on the planet. all the unactualized potential, all of the visions, the ideas, the inventions, the books, the lectures. I mean, so much that people have died with because they would not step out and engage life. And, you know, the very nature of faith requires risk. But we've been taught to be safe. But the thing is, you remain safe. There are certain things you may not experience by being safe, but on the negative side, but there's so much more you will never experience on the positive side. Just something to think about. Um, I absolutely uh, adore the fact that I have this opportunity to make an impact on the world. I am not taking it lightly. I am not resting on my laurels. Every day I'm in training. Every day I'm in studying. Every day I'm in growing the capacity I have and mastering even more disciplines to be able to bring things to people that will change their lives. Because I understand, and this is something you understand, the more I bring value to myself, the more value I can bring to others, and the more I have as a capacity to create the wealth I need for my family. It's all there. And like I said, I teach it, and it's all in that book too. Like I said, pre-order the book, automatically be entered into, uh, here's the link I'm putting in the comment field now. And I'll put it in the description box after I finish this video in a few seconds. But again, it's been awesome. It's been great. You guys have a wonderful day. I've got a lot to get done in a short period of time at the remainder of the day. Man, I'm feeling real good right now. And again, gratitude. I can't express that enough. Find a way to be grateful. Wake up in the morning and the first thing in your mind should be what you're grateful for. Once you have that sense of gratitude, it's real hard to take you off your position. But if you wake up in the morning stressed out about what you don't have, you wake up in the morning stressed out about what somebody did, if you wake up in the morning upset because of this, if you wake up in the morning, you're setting the course of your day. That's how your day is going to go. You're going to have an attitude with the first person you walk out into and meet in the street, on the road, or at the office. It's going to just continually go on. And then you're going to lose sight of what's possible. But when you wake up with gratitude immediately connects you to God. I don't care what your faith is. If you believe in a higher power, gratitude is what connects you. You can't get to the higher power without gratitude. I don't care how much you believe in the higher power. I don't care how much you think the higher power is capable of. You can't be connected to the higher power without gratitude. There's something about being grateful that just sets you in a place that everything all of a sudden becomes possible. Stop talking about what you don't have. I mean, stop, period. What you don't have is nobody's business but your own. Stop talking about it. You know it. That's all you need to. Now put your focus on what it is you want. Put your focus on what it is you need. Put your focus on what it is you're demanding of yourself. Put your focus on what you're about to go out and do. And start talking to yourself as if you've already done it. That's calling things that are not as though they were. If you're constantly talking about what you don't have, you're not calling things that are not as though they were. Start living the life you want in your mind daily. I'm not talking about getting lost in daydreams. I'm talking about saying, this is who I am. Demand it of yourself. Set a standard. If you say that you're this person, that you're going to achieve this thing, would that person be acting the way you're acting right now? If you're saying that you're building wealth, would the person that's building wealth be acting the way you're acting right now, making the decisions you're making? If you say that you're going to be an awesome business person, you're going to perform at a high level in business, would the person that's an exceptional business performer be doing what you're doing right now? Ask yourself, as the person I want to be doing what is the person would the person I want to be doing what I'm doing right now? Because what you're perpetually doing, it's perpetually feeding your mind. What you're perpetually feeding your mind is feeding your thoughts, and you're creating a cycle. You're either climbing up or you're going down. You determine. I know I was supposed to be gone a long time ago, but I'm out of here. It's been an awesome day, guys. I hopefully see you a little later today or maybe tomorrow. But you guys get yourself together. Don't forget, go out, pre-order the book, enter the sweepstakes. And like I say, the winners will be announced on February 16th at the release of the book. It's been awesome. You guys have a great day. I'm out. Peace.